Hey, it's your girl Diva Does It, and I am back this week. I hate that I missed last week, but I had a few things going on, and then by the time I got ready to post, I was like, you know what, I might as well just wait to this week and post instead of, waiting Friday, Saturday to do it when I'm getting ready to post a video as it was. So I decided to come on today and do my video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about mental health, PCOS, and some other things. Before I start, um, this is going to be kind of a heavy video. Today is the 2-year anniversary of my mother's passing. So, I have a couple of things that I wanted to discuss with you guys. As you know, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I do PR for verse planning and for All Things by Keisha. And there is a group of about 30 of us, 30 or so of us at verse planning, and we have chats and we, randomly discuss different topics, and mental health came up the first part of the week, and I wanted to touch on that. Because I know I deal with my own set of mental health issues. So I wanted to let people know that they're not alone. They're not fighting this alone. And I have several things that trigger mine. So I wanted to talk about my journey with it today. And also, enlighten people on PCOS. If you haven't watched my other videos concerning my PCOS, go back and watch those. I mean, I'm going to touch on some of the stuff that I've already talked about in some of my other videos today, but I'm not going to go in depth as explaining what it is and stuff like that, because I've already done that in another video. So like I said, go back and watch that. I'll probably tag it in my description box so that you can go back and see it if you want to. I'm not as advanced yet on learning how to put the link in the video yet, so I'll put it in my description box. But once I learn how to do that, y'all, you ain't gonna be able to stop me. You're gonna get tags and stuff all in my videos. But anyway, PCOS is the acronym for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It can lead to mental health issues, weight loss issues. In some cases, I've heard that even gaining weight has been an issue with some people with it. The inability to conceive, facial hair, excessive body hair, and a plethora of other symptoms come along with it. And I deal with the excessive facial hair, the mood swings and depression and stuff like that of it, and the inability to lose weight. And Lord knows that I try sometimes, and then at other times it's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, I take 2 steps forward and, go back 90. But we're not going to talk about that today. That's a topic for another day. Like I said, I wanted to discuss the mental health side of it. And also, with it being my mother's anniversary, I wanted to talk about her as well, which rolls into part of my depression and my anxiety and my mental issues that I have sometimes. I know a lot of times people will say, if you don't know somebody that well, how can you grieve them? Well, with my mom, my grandmother raised me. I remember that I fully started living with my grandmother when I was about the age of 5. Before then, I think it was a back and forth thing. I couldn't really tell you, and I'm not going to sit here and try to speculate on it. But I do know around the age of 5, I went to live full time with my grandmother. I tried in certain instances to have a relationship with my mother, but because of circumstances being what they were, I wasn't able to have that relationship with her. I know when I got older and when I had my first child, you know, we had some type of relationship going at that point in time because she threw my baby shower for my son. Even when my daughter was born, you know, I would let my son and my daughter go over and spend the weekend, and I stayed with her, I think, for maybe 3 or 4 weeks before I moved to Las Vegas. But as far as having a real mother-daughter relationship, me and her did not have that, and that is some of the things that I regret now that she's gone, that I wasn't able to talk to her and ask her those questions that any child would want to know from their parents. Well, why didn't you raise me? Why didn't you this? Why didn't you that? But now she's gone and I'm not able to do that. So before I go any further into that, if you have a dysfunctional relationship with a parent or a sibling or any family member, unless it's something that is detrimental to your health, I advise that you have that conversation with them. It's not just closure for them, it's closure for yourself, and it helps with your healing process. When you are in a situation where that person is gone and you can't ask them questions that you wanted to know or get those answers, it's hard. um and I've had friends and I've had, you know, other people that I've talked to, and you were like, you know, I don't want to talk to them. They did this, they did that to me, they did that. That healing and that closure is for you. Trust and believe me, if I could have it to do all over again, I would have had those conversations with her and asked her those, you know, those questions that I wanted answers to. But now she's gone and I'm not able to do that. So now I have to deal with the repercussions of me not, you know, being more vocal in the situation. And at times it can be really, really rough. Like now I was able to go home, I think 2 days before she passed. I was there and she knew I was there, so that kind of soothes me sometimes, that she know I was there, that I did care enough to come home and be with her in her final days. And I was there when she passed. Me, my daughter, and my brother were all in the room with her when she passed. So those things are, you know, a comfort to me. But then it always happened January 28th. I know that's when I got there. I know January 30th is when she passed. So those days are hard for me. Like today is really, really hard for me. You know, I'm trying to deal with it the best way that I can. But when I tell you guys, it is really, really hard not having those answers and not being able to talk to that person and say, hey, why did you do this? Or why didn't you do that? Or it makes you feel in some instances, well, why wasn't I good enough for this? Or why wasn't I good enough for that? And I know that I was loved, but I always feel like I was lacking in something because I didn't have my mother. And not just my mother, my father. My father was in my life more so than my dad. But I mean, my dad was in my life more so than my mom. But my dad wasn't a constant in my life either. So for me, being that little girl who wanted to be with her dad and be with her mom and not being able to because of whatever situations that was going on with them. And, you know, I know my grandmother loved me and she raised me the best way that she knew how, but I was still lacking some of that love and affection that you're supposed to get from your mom and your dad, because those are supposed to be the two people in your life that love you regardless of whatever it is you do or whatever. I mean, I know we have to give our children tough love. I have 2 children, and I know that you have to give them tough love in certain situations and stuff like that. But you love them regardless of what they do because they're your children. They came from you. And at times I feel like I didn't have that. So it's very hurtful, and it messes with your mental state. Um, And those are some of the things now that I'm older that I have to deal with. And I have been to counseling, and she gave me a wonderful book uh, that discusses you being the parent to your inner child, you know, kind of soothing and healing your inner child so that you can be a better productive adult. And it's been really good. I don't read it as much as I should, but what I have read of it is really, really good. And like I said, with the PCOS, I don't think that helps anything when it comes to my mental state, because sometimes I know that I can be a little rough around the edges when it comes to my husband and stuff like that. And I don't mean to snap at him or anything like that, but it just be my mood, and I don't want to be bothered. And like I've said in a video before, he's like one of those type people that he wants to fix it and hug on me and baby me and stuff like that. And in those moments, I don't want that. I want you to go sit down, leave me alone somewhere. Just let me wallow in my self pity in the moment, and then when I, you know, get myself together, then we can discuss it and move on from there. That's just the type of person I am. But like I said, these days are rough. Um, and no matter, you know, whose vantage point of the situation, it's still going to be rough. Um, People don't understand that everybody is different. The way you deal with something, I might not be able to deal with it that same way. And I think when people start to understand that different people go through stuff differently and stop judging them for how they're handling it, the world will be a better place. Not just certain people, the world will be a better place. Because just because I'm not gay doesn't mean that I can't sympathize or empathize with what a gay person goes through. And that was brought up on the Love and Hip Hop episode that I watched a couple of weeks ago, and I know a lot of people were getting upset because he said that just how black people go through different things. I didn't look at it the way that other people did. I looked at it at the fact that he said, you as a black person go through so much. People judge you, they look at you crazy. You could be in a store, people think you're stealing. And the same way that people look at you as a black person, he wasn't talking about, you know, the slavery and stuff that we've had to go through, and as a race or whatever, but how people judge him because he's gay, that, you know, they look at him and turn up their nose and stuff like that. And I've said this before in one of my YouTube videos. I'm not God, so I can't judge anybody. If you want to love a person, love them. That's you and God's conversation, not me and you and God, because I don't have any right to be in that conversation with you and God. That's your business. God told me to love everybody, and that's what I'm going to do, regardless of how you live your life, because even God went out among sinners and witnessed, and, you know, had dinner and was washing people's feet and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be that person to be judging and turning up my nose. I don't care if you're homeless. I don't care if you're gay, straight, bi, tri, poly, Megatronish. I don't care. As long as you treat me the way that I treat you, we're good. That's just how I see life. And I feel like if more people mind the business that paid them, then, like I said, this world would be a better place. But my mental health journey is one that I'm going to need counseling for a while. I'm not going to be able to get over some of the things that has went on in my life, just like that. So I don't try to, and I don't try to explain to people, you know, just because you have this view of something, it's not the same thing that I went through, because I have learned that, you know, some people want to protect what, you know, they went through and, you know, hide it and stuff like that. That's not me. I can't be that person. Don't ask me to be that person because I'm not going to do it. Um, and it's caused dissension and separation as far as family members and stuff like that. Each person, like I said, goes through something different. And I know it might seem like I'm speaking in circles, but I'm trying to make a point. My experience, my life experience, is something totally different from what everybody else goes through. Just like my husband's life experience is something totally different from what I went through. I can listen to him talk about what went on in his life and his childhood, and I can sympathize with him on what he went through. But I can't say to him, you shouldn't feel like that, or that's not the way it was, because I'm not in his head and I can't change his feelings about stuff, just like he can't change my feelings about stuff. It's like I said, everybody goes through something different. And I feel like people don't realize that, and then they'll judge people on what they say, or they'll resent people for what they say, and it makes it really, really hard. So now I'm at a point to where I just I talk to my husband, I talk to God about what's going on with me, and outside of that, maybe a friend or two, maybe what's going on with me. I don't go into full details because I don't want anybody saying, well, you shouldn't feel like that. It's my feelings, it's valid to me, and I don't want to get upset and go off on anybody. So other than my therapist, my husband, and God, and not in that order, I don't talk about my feelings about my past, my childhood, things that I'm going through now. I really don't talk to people about it. You know, I let people assume that I'm this happy, bright person, which most of the time I am. But then there are days when I need somebody to listen to me and what I'm going through, and it seems like everybody wants to bring me their stuff. And that in itself can be something hard too. And I've always been that person. I've been this strong person. And everybody looks at me, oh, she got her stuff together. I don't need to help her. Oh, I don't need to do this because she got it. Ask me. I don't always have it together. I don't. Sometimes it's like a weight on my shoulder. If you have ever watched the movie Encanto, that's why I love this movie so much. The strong sister that said that she is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulder. That's how I feel sometimes. I feel like I carry everybody's stuff on my shoulders. And it's not just, you know, friends, it's family, it's my children, it's my everybody. I feel like that I carry that weight on my shoulder and I'm strong for everybody else. But when I need somebody to be there for me to be strong, I don't really have that same support system. And I know, like I said, when I started the video, and maybe I didn't say it, I don't remember. It might be some people, and I know it's going to be some people that's going to be upset with what I said. But like I said, this is my truth, and this is how I feel on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes call me and ask me how I'm doing, what is going on with me, versus, oh, well, this is going on in my life. My life is falling apart. What should I do? I don't always have answers for you, and sometimes I really don't want to answer your questions because I have stuff of my own that's going on. But like I said, I've always been that one to carry everybody's weight. But at this point in my life, I'm getting older. I want to enjoy the rest of my life. That's why I don't call people as much. That's why I don't text as much, because I feel like if I can take 2 or 3 minutes, not even that long, to type a text message to say, hey, how you doing? I was just thinking about you, or call somebody and press. If you got Facebook Messenger, all you got to do is the little camera button, press it. It calls people. Call him and be like, hey, how you doing? I was just thinking about you, wanted to make sure you was okay. It don't have to be a long conversation either. We don't have to be on the phone for hours. 5 minutes tops. That's all we gotta do. Hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you. You okay? All right, that's all I wanted. Just wanted to check on you. Because I've done that for so long. I've reached out to people and I've called and, I'll call you back. I never hear from them. I'll call. Oh, well, act like you don't really want to talk. So fine. So now I'm at a point in my life that I don't do any of that. If you call me, then I'm calling you back. If you text me, then I'm texting you back. It's a give and take thing with me now. If you don't do those things, don't expect a call, don't expect a text, any of that. Because when I hear that, you can reach out and call and text other people, then I definitely don't feel inclined that I have to be the one to reach out and call and text you. That's just where I am at in my life right now. And I know, again, that it's going to upset some people, but it is what it is. So your girl Diva, although I have joy and happiness in my life, some days it's not joy and happiness. And the only thing that keeps me going and keeps me focused on my next steps and my next move is 1, God, 2, my husband, 3, my children, and 4, my granddaughter. Seeing her run in the hall and smiling at me, or when I get up in the morning, she act like I'm the best thing she's ever seen in her life, and it's hey mama, and she running down the hall to give me hugs and kisses. That is the best thing. It keeps me going. And when my husband lies to me and tell me I'm beautiful when I don't feel like it, that keeps me going. Where my daughter just gives me hugs or come lays her head on my shoulder for no reason, that keeps me going. When my son messaged me out of the blue when he's not asking for money and just want to know how his mama is doing, that keeps me going. And I left a person out, my brother, because he is one of my biggest cheerleaders. He calls, he wants to know what is going on with me, why I haven't posted a video. Why I haven't posted a video, and just checking on me. Since my mom is gone, it's just me and him. And I know my auntie is there with him. And I know that I still have a relationship with our dad. But at this point, it's like it's just me and him. So I want to be there for him, like he's being there for me, keeping me accountable for posting my videos and encouraging me in everything I do. And I know, brother, that you're going to watch this. So I thank you for that. And I love you so, so much. You have no idea. Like I told you before, when you and I talk, we've been apart from each other for so long that these years, however long God has us left to be on this earth, I want us to be able to talk to each other and love on each other as much as we can. Because I had another sister and I lost her, and she was another one of my biggest cheerleaders. I love my sister Connie and I miss her so much. But I'm gonna get off here because I don't think I'm gonna break out into a ball of crying. But I wanted to be honest with you guys. I wanted to be real with y'all, and I wanted y'all to understand that even those people that you think that are so strong, they go through stuff too. And it doesn't hurt to reach out to them and check on them, just like you want them to check on you. And that's all I have. Love you guys.